Hey, what's up guys? Today I wanted to make a pretty quick video about the leash as a top laner. This video is mainly going to talk about Riven, as I'm going to talk about some specific matchups. But this should also be helpful for other top laners, even if they don't play the champion in particular. Leashing is a complex topic which annoys pretty much everyone. In higher elo, junglers usually know how to analyze matchups, they know the priorities, and they also know towards which lane they should path. But sometimes, especially in lower elo, junglers have no idea where to start and they even flame their top laners if they ask them to start bot side. But sometimes, top laners also refuse to leash for their jungler even though they have no reason to arrive to lane earlier. I'm going to talk about Riven specifically in this video, but this could potentially help other players as well. To begin with, it's important to understand the cons of leashing. By leashing for your jungler, you will obviously arrive to lane later than your opponent unless they also leashed for their jungler. By arriving to lane later, you will most of the time be forced to give up the push and won't be able to take a trade level 1. You may be asking yourself why. It's pretty simple. By arriving to lane later than your opponent, they will already have hit the minions, which means that there will be more minions on their side, and they will get the XP advantage as well. That means that they will reach the level 2 before you, which makes it harder for you to trade against them. This is the reason why, in most situations, you will be forced to give up the push and wait for your level 3 under your tower. In some matchups, it is hard or even impossible to win any trade during level 1. This is why it is not a problem to leash for your jungler when you are playing these matchups. For example, playing matchups like Darius, Fiora and Yasuo do not require you to arrive in lane earlier, because if played properly, you should not be able to win the level 1 against those champions. But in matchups such as Irelia, Renekton and Rengar, it will be best to decline the leash in order to arrive to lane before them or at the same time. The reason why is because Irelia should not be able to win any trade level 1 against Riven. A decent Irelia should start E to deny Riven from taking a level 1 trade, but then she will have to give up the push and wait under tower, giving the advantage to Riven anyways. If Irelia starts Q, she can prepare and stack her passive on the minions before Riven arrives to lane if she leashes for the jungler. This is the reason why Riven would rather decline the leash in order to deny Irelia from approaching the minions. Into Renekton, Riven can easily win at level 1 as long as she plays accordingly. Into Renekton, Riven can easily win a level 1 as long as she plays accordingly. By that, I mean she has to proc his bot plating with a max range 3rd Q and then trade him as soon as her Q comes back up. But if she decides to leash for her jungler when facing Renekton, he will be able to stack his Fury and minions on his side before Riven even gets to lane. He will then get level 2 before her and could almost kill her with a stacked stun followed by a Q spell. The third category is different. It's about cheesing some champions. In matchups that Riven can abuse, it is recommended to hide in the bush closest to the enemy tower and then wait for your opponents before fucking them up. Good examples are Nasus, Kayle and Ryze. Those are very squishy champions with very weak level 1. It's easy to force them to flash or to even kill them. In higher elo, people usually expect this strategy, but it is still a good thing to do anyway, because you can still deny them from catching the minions, and if played properly, to even catch the experience. This is another situation in which you would rather avoid leashing for your jungler. Another matchup category in which you would rather not leash for your jungler as Riven is the one with hard matchups that are almost impossible to win. This includes ranged champions such as Jace and Kennen, because they don't really have any CC at level 1, and if they don't have the time to poke you from range, they should not be able to win a direct trade. This is why you would rather try to cheese them like you do into Kayle and Nasus, because this gives you potentially a chance to get their flash or a kill level 1 in order to get a lead from the beginning to make this matchup a bit less hard. It's all about analyzing your matchups to see if there's any advantage to catch in the very first levels, or if there's nothing to seize. If there's no advantage to get by arriving early, then just go leash for your jungler.